The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your SuperChats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
What went wrong for the Jets against the Cardinals on Sunday? What are their fatal flaws and why this season has been a season from hell? We'll talk about that and much more with Andrew Fialkow in his weekly spot on the show. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chat, baby. Cut the line. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. If you missed it on the first show today, the great Robbie Sabo joined us in his weekly spot to talk about the Jets in the now and, of course, the Jets' long-term future. So check that out on the channel. Another reminder to join the Patreon if you haven't already. We are approaching 500 Patreon members, so thank you to the best fans in sports for your support there. For less than a cup of coffee a month, you get access to our private Discord chat. You get bonus shows every month that are not on YouTube, discounts on all items in the jakeasman.com merch store, your name in the intro, and a whole lot more. Head over to patreon.com/Jake Asman Show to support me on Patreon. Joining us right now in his weekly spot is our film guru from JetsXFactor.com, Andrew Fialkow. Andrew, how are you, man? I'm sorry you had to sit down and rewatch the film after that debacle on Sunday.
Yeah. I'll just be completely honest. I didn't finish it. I didn't want to per se, but the fourth quarter, I wasn't really worth watching. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to say at this point, but it's not like fun stuff to say. So yeah, we'll get into it. Obviously, we were just talking on the pre-show how this is not where we expected this season to be on November 12th, but we're here and nothing we can change at this point. So got to just move forward.
It's unreal, man. It really is. And, going into the game, we have seen the Jets do this exact thing so many times, right? Surprising win. They look good. It's just the turning point, and then they lay an egg. And I picked the Jets to lose Sunday, but I didn't think they'd get killed. I thought it'd be they come out flat. Maybe they're down 10-0. They mount the comeback. They lose 23-20. And we're lamenting the fact that this team can't get up for games. Not only do they come out as flat as we've seen them, but they were never in this game. There was never a moment where you felt like they were back in the game. That, to me, surprised me. Did that surprise you?
Yeah, I mean, it surprised me, Jake, but we talked about it on the show last week. If anyone goes back and they saw, I said to you, now this team has 9 games to prepare, and you hear reports from the beat reporters, oh, they're dancing at practice, everyone's feeling loose, and I don't know, man. That did not look like a team that prepared for even 10 minutes. Like, truthfully, the fact that you have nine days to prepare for that game, Rodgers is always talking about how, it's such a fun, not fun. It's like he hates playing on Thursdays, but the weekends are great because you get time off to heal and everyone should be fully healthy for that Sunday game. And to show up the way that they did against a team that is good, but it's not like a groundbreaking offense or a groundbreaking team like that we've never seen before, that you could look that unprepared. I really... Unfortunately, it comes back to the coaching. The players aren't bought in. The lack of maturity on this team is appalling. What Sauce has done on social media, I think he's the biggest hypocrite you could ever be. For the amount of times he said he's going to delete social media and he's over it and it means nothing. To then I saw he called out Matt O'Leary and just doing really that tweet. And with him, he tweets and then the tweet is gone within 1 minute. Which is it's already immature, and then you take it to the next level of immaturity. Be like, oh, I said this, but I'm too scared to leave it out there. And I'm not trying to bash on him because I think he's a good player, and I thought coming into this year he was a core player of our future, and I still do believe that. But man, he's crashing out like it's Jamal Adams over again. Really, that's what some of my friends were even saying. I kind of agree because it's a horrible look, and there's no accountability on this team. No one seems to care. There's no maturity. And you thought like, oh, we got Rodgers, we're bringing in Tyron Smith, we got good veteran presence. CJ Mosley, obviously been on the team for a while, captain. No one is helping any of these young kids with anything. They're literally like my age and like just being idiots on social media, and they're professional football players. And the fact that we're talking about that's a whole nother issue in itself. So just embarrassing for the fan base. I know you say it all the time, but I truly do feel bad for the fans because like this is the first time I got an email from someone, like a random email. I don't know. He might be watching the show. I think it's from Jet X Factor though, from my article. This guy just sent me like a page email of how upset he was with the team. And I'm like, I didn't even respond, which is probably kind of a D move of me, but like, I can't help you there, man. Like he said, like he's been a suffering fan for 44 years, man. I've been like post puberty that I could like fully remember the team. I've been a diehard fan for like 10 years. So I can only imagine the amount of pain that everyone's been going through. And as you always said, the team does not deserve this fan base in the slightest. So that's my rant on what's been going on.
Well, you brought up Sauce Gardner. You brought up Matt O'Leary. And Jet fans, we've had an Asmaniac sauce emoji since we started channel memberships about a year ago. And, well, until Sauce Gardner starts playing like all-pro Sauce Gardner again, we're going to replace the Sauce Gardner emoji with the Matt O'Leary Sauce Gardner emoji. That is what we're going to do. If we get 15 memberships throughout the course of this stream, we will make this the new sauce emoji. So if you see the sauce emoji, if you're a channel member, enjoy it while it lasts. Because in 15 members, YouTube will let me adjust our current sauce emoji. So there you go, Sauce. Start playing better, and we'll give you back your damn emoji.
Yeah, terrible.
Horrible. All right, film review time. If the memberships come in, we'll shout it out as things roll here. Andrew, you'll screen share. We'll break down some plays from both sides of the ball. I really want to just figure out why this defense was so bad at tackling on Sunday. So I know you got some stuff to show on that. So whenever you're ready, we'll pull it up on your screen here, and we'll allow you to do what you do.
Yeah. While I'm pulling it up, again, I didn't want like there's no, like we've had great film reviews this season, like 2, where it's been like 8 clips of the offense. And truthfully, I don't have that many clips this week because I just didn't like want to continue to go through what Pee Wee football looks like for the Jet fans. It's literally just some of the worst tackling I've ever laid eyes on. I think they missed 20 tackles according to Next Gen Stats, which was the most this season by at least like 5 and the most since 2005 or something like that. But yeah, just a couple of plays that like to me show that there's no chance that they studied film. Like just the lack of awareness on the whole team. And I'll just go through a few of those and then I could answer any questions anyone has. So
beautiful. All right, so Andrew's going to screen share. And as you were talking there, Andrew, who else but Mike D's nuts coming through to get the sauce Matt O'Leary emoji rolling? Ladies and gentlemen, we say thank you for the 5 memberships, Mr. Mike D's nuts. D's nuts. All right, here we go. If you hear your name called, you're a member. If you want a membership, all you need to do is click on Mike's name and turn on gift receipts. Someone might gift you one if you like the video and you're subscribed to the channel. Jeff Hogg, John Gilgert, Andrew Yale, Thomas Doyle, ... all receiving a membership. Austrian Jet fan just gifted a membership. We're going to get this sauce emoji up. I bet within a few minutes at this rate. 1 channel membership went to Brian Lemos. So, Brian, you're now a member thanks to the great Austrian Jet fan who's coming through for the people. All right, Andrew, let's get to the first play here. Here we go. Everyone can now see your screen right now.
All righty. I actually didn't even do my mouse like I should have this time, but it's not that deep. This is a tough play here. I'll just run it fully, and then I'll say what goes on from this angle. This was 3rd and goal. I think this was first quarter. So this was 3rd and goal. This is when they went up 14-3. So it's just concerning to me. So everyone hates Michael Clemens. I'm not a fan of Michael Clemens. It's understood he's not going to get another contract in the NFL after this year. I would put my money on that with basically anyone. So it's 3rd and goal. You just had, I think, the run stop, and then they ran a fade with McBride, and Sherwood had decent defense, and it was like a little off target. So Kyler Murray, game planning for the week. If I'm Jeff Ulbrich, I'm like, hey guys, what do we know about Kyler from this year? He's been a pretty good pocket passer. He's definitely been improving throughout the season. And while he's a good pocket passer, they have a lot of good weapons. He's also really dangerous with his legs. He's extremely dangerous out of the pocket, and they probably will run some designed runs for him. So, hey guys, we have to game plan for that. That's just 3 sentences. Now they have about 4 hours more in a defensive, 2 hours more in a defensive meeting for that one day. And then they should be doing scout team in practice for looks like this. Now, I couldn't find an exact example of this on film from the Cardinals, but what's going to happen here is, again, we're asking Clemens as our edge setter to be like someone who's going to run down Kyler. So I'm giving him flack. Yeah, because what he does here is not good enough. It's just not. The play fake comes. Clemens is still staring inside. Everyone is tricked. Like, it's a good play, but there's no way that in the world that they could be this tricked. Clemens like, oh, does he have the ball? Still looking. He was looking all the way up until Kyler could have crawled into the end zone. He's like, he just looks right now. He's like, oh, wow. Maybe if I set the edge, I would have had some chance to get the ball back inside to 52, whatever that linebacker's name is that I keep forgetting. Again, I hate Clemens, but this is also really bad on the coaching staff. Like, you're clearly not – I mean, also, like, great job. Like, you're about to block Quinnen out of the way, Clemens, and you're in the same gap as him. So, even look at this run would have probably scored anyway, because God knows what the hell – whose gap that is. It's Kinlaw again doing – God, I have another clip of Kinlaw. He just flies out of these gaps and puts himself out of these plays. Quincy could have filled there, but Clemens – I know it's hard, man, because he's so eager to, like, make a big play, and he's never setting the edge correctly, but just completely dives down and doesn't set the edge, has no idea who has the ball. No one has an idea who has the ball here. And Kyler just walks into the end zone like it's Pee Wee football.
It's so trash. And you know what's so frustrating, too? All week we heard about how, Kyler Murray and James Conner, they're going to gash him with their legs. And, yeah, Murray made a play here. There were, I think, another run later in the game where I think he gained at least 12 or 13 yards. But really, it was the passing attack that doomed this defense. The dinking and dunking, the Jets' inability to put pressure on Murray to come up with any incompletions, the tackling. Like, it was just it was so bad all around, really, from that opening drive. And, of course, this drive here that ended with an easy touchdown for the Cardinals, too.
Yeah, no, you're right. They got anything they wanted. Just literally anything. And funny enough, I have 3 of their run clips because, like, those are the ones that stood out for me that it was so bad from the Jets. But look, I mean, just off the top of my head, coaching, slot fade to Marvin Harrison. You have your 5'9" corner on him instead of your supposedly shutdown corner in Sauce Gardner. And Kyler throws a perfect ball, and Marvin makes a great catch. That's a touchdown. You had that seam ball to Trey McBride that he got absolutely walloped on by like 3 of our guys, and he made a great play. Like, you'll chalk that up to them making a good play and executing. And then a couple other plays, they had that tight end leak play where McBride was wide open and no one on the defense had any clue it was coming. And then another play in the passing game was obviously the most talked about play, the mesh play where it's a shallow crosser to McBride that Sauce just didn't wrap up. And like every corner on this team, they tackle so damn high. And that just, at this point, I got to believe that's what they're taught, or they're just never going to change. I don't know which one it is. They just tackle so high, and Sauce is not strong. So you're wrapping him around and throwing him forward. It's basically like you're just launching him. But those were 4 that come off the top of my head, and it just looked like a team that was not prepared at all.
Next clip. Here we go.
Yep. So a trap run. So the Jets get the Jets get trap ran on them a ton because what they're told is their D lineman is to like fly up field. So like what Kinlaw does here is no way the right thing. I just can't imagine that they coach this, but I'll just run it through and then I'll tell you guys what's really going on. Quincy missed tackle, Sauce tackling up by the waist, so like he takes a ride for 4 yards. Okay, trap. So you're gonna have 63 just go right around and come up to Sherwood. I think 72 does the same thing, and then you're going to have 62 or 70, I have to look, go to trap Kinlaw. But what Kinlaw does, 70 is going to trap. He's going to trap Kinlaw, but Kinlaw is 7 yards up the field. So he's like, oh, wow, thanks. Great job by Kinlaw. He did my job for me. And he took himself out of the play. The gap that he left open is 4 people could fit through that gap. So then the running back, actually Sherwood does a great job here seeing that and then trying to peel across the face of the back of the O-lineman to get the run cut back, which it does. And Quincy goes for the freaking hit stick and guy bounces off of him. Sauce wants nothing to do with tackling ever. But like that's not a tackle attempt, man. I'm sorry. Like if you guys watch like a good corner like Jalen Ramsey tackle, like you're going for the knees, you're going low, you're gonna make like a wrap tackle, you're gonna wrap and roll, you're gonna do something. This is not any technique of tackling. This is a hug and take me as far as you want me to go. That's not a technique. And then it's just Sauce what he does. He's never been a good tackler. It's not like a new thing. It's just getting amplified this year because the team sucks. And he's like, oh, I guess I'll just hold on to him and wait for all the other guys to come in. Here comes Jalen to help, Tony Adams to help, Michael Carter to help. 4 guys have to take him down. And this is freaking DeMercado or whatever the guy's name is. It's not James Conner. So no one playing for each other, the lack of effort, lack of fundamentals. I mean, and I'm just not even talking about Kinlaw literally ruined this play for the team by where's your head at? So you're just pushing your head's down. You have no idea what's going on in the play. Still doesn't know. He still has no idea. Kyler could be dropping back to pass right next to him here. And he has no idea. He's looking the other way. He's upset maybe. I don't know what he's doing. And then 70's like, wow, I have to trap block you 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That's pretty easy. And I'm out of the play, and it's a 14-yard gain.
So is that hero ball by Kinlaw there? Like, what is the purpose? What is he trying to do there?
I like it's not hero ball unless he's keeping his head up. Because like, what does he think? Is Kyler just going to randomly roll into him? He's going to get a sack. It's just flying upfield for no reason and like probably being like shocked that he got off balance because 63 was like, hey, I'm just letting you go because you're going to get trapped. So he's probably just like a little off balance, very off balance. And Kinlaw does that a ton. I just showed on the last play. He did it the same exact thing. I don't know. They're not teaching this. You look on the end zone angle, 54 right here. He's offside too. Offside, flies upfield, and gets nothing done. He does this all the time on tape. It makes no sense to me. You have to
punish him for it. They don't.
No,
it's unreal.
There's no accountability, Jake. We knew that when I showed Clemens never setting an edge for 4. This is 8 weeks straight now. They don't care. There's no coaching being done. 0. And that's why I'm done blaming the players for everything. The coaching at this point is like awful. It's really bad. It cannot just be just the players. Although they don't play for each other, so it doesn't matter. But it's so bad, man. I mean, no one cares. It's like not watching anything I've ever seen. It's insane.
Before you get to the next play, a couple questions for you. How was this defense capable of playing as well as they did against Houston in the second half?
How
is this the same team? They all talked about how they seemingly found something there, and then obviously the offense was a mess, and we can get into that at some point here. But like defensively, like they had a pass rush. They at times did tackle pretty well that game. Like Mixon had some big runs, but for the most part, like they made plays when they had to. Like how is this the same team with 9 days to get ready for their opponent?
I mean, Jake, it's just like schematically different. Like what the Jets are really susceptible against is a good run game and a quarterback that gets out of the pocket. And look, I mean, it's just very different offenses. Like that game for the Texans, they were down Diggs and Nico, obviously. So the team looked a lot different. They also have a really bad offensive line. So the Jets had 8 sacks, I think, and like 100 pressures. They were blitzing a ton. It's more about they were dictating it rather than this game right off the bat. The Cardinals popped that one screenplay to Connor, and it felt like the Jets were on their back foot the rest of the game. There was no real adjustments by the defense the entire game. This play is a great example, actually, like of them just like, I don't know how this is what they thought would work, but back to the Texans game, it's simple as they were dictating the play. So we were blitzing unexpectedly. They had DJ Reed on that corner blitz that the Texans probably didn't have in their game plan. It's breaking tendencies. It's not being predictable. And the Texans didn't play well that game, but I feel like we've had Stroud's number a bit for whatever reason in last year in that rain game and then this year. Obviously, they were down their top 2 receivers. Their line has been poor. And the Cardinals are just like maybe a better operating offense right now at this point of the season, and we were not ready. I don't even want to say that we were ready for the Houston game. I know we played better, but I mean, it was a bit fluky. We had that fluky Clemens fake sack where he pushed the O-lineman back into him and Stroud just fumbled. But the defense obviously looked better that game. It's just momentum is a real thing. And once the offense got us into it, I'm telling you, this team, they feed off each other. And if one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong.
Right. They can't handle any sort of adversity, which I also think is coaching because they're not ready to handle any adversity.
Yep. Exactly.
That's Devontae coming out after the Steelers game being like, we didn't have energy. It's like, where's our energy? It's like he's pointing that out. It's like, where are the leaders on the team that have been here the whole time?
Yep. 100%.
Before you get to the next play here, we talked about Gardner's poor tackling. I pulled it separately on the All-22. Just break down the play. I'm going to run it a few times. You'll see it on your screen if you come back to it, Andrew.
Oh,
this was the missed tackle by Sauce on McBride here. I'll just roll it a bunch. Like what everything you see wrong with this play, just call it out.
Yeah, so he's tackling super high. Like a lot of guys there would just go for the knees, like put shoulder pad knee. Like a lot of guys. You could watch any safety play, cornerback play. Why does he want to get into a strength battle when he's 180 pounds soaking wet with a 260-pound tight end? I didn't even remember how high he tackled. He's standing straight up. You guys could just dumb it down. If you're standing straight up trying to wrestle a guy down and he has 70 pounds on you, it's not going to go well. It's that simple. You go for the legs here. You always try and take out the legs. And then I also think I saw in the plays, no one really came to rally. Like, why are we assuming our worst tackler is going to make a tackle? I don't know what. I feel like after the play, he freaking hurdled someone. Does it go past that?
I just have this part right here.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's just tackling really high, and he does it every game.
Gotcha.
And it won't work when you have no strength. Like, he's not going to freaking sublex him off the ground and tackle him. He's 175 pounds.
Well, the good news is for those tuning in late, we are just 11 memberships away from replacing the sauce emoji with the Matt O'Leary and sauce emoji after yesterday's Twitter debacle by Gardner. So if you help us get 11 more memberships, we will have a new channel emoji, and we won't have the new sauce emoji. We won't replace O'Leary and sauce until sauce is back to being the sauce we're accustomed to seeing. Anyway,
yeah.
Let's continue. Andrew, next play, we now all can see your screen.
All right. I made my mouse bigger while you were talking. So
we love big mouses on this show, no doubt.
I actually, so I don't know if you saw, Jake, on Twitter, I posted about this, and this is my biggest fear on Twitter is to be like, to tweet something just out of not anger, but I watched the play and I didn't look at it again to think about maybe I was wrong. And obviously I was wrong with what I thought originally. And the original tweet that I had went crazy because, like, if you dunk on Clemens on Jets Twitter, everyone loves it. So I then wrote back on Twitter and said, "Hey, guys, by the way, I was wrong. That got like 9 likes. The Clemens tweet got like 150." So I'm like, all right, well, I might as well just explain it now on Jake's show for anyone that follows me on Twitter. I don't understand this play, and I won't understand it. But what I talked to Robbie Sabo, who I know you had on earlier, about what happens. This is the read option touchdown from Kyler. First glance, I'm watching and I'm like, wow, I just cannot believe Clemens, again, can't set the edge on a read option play. But then I went back after because I was wondering.
Point out where Clemens is on this play.
Yeah, so Clemens is right here. He's the edge. He's right in front of 84. Here's Clemens.
Yep.
He has to be being taught to crash down on the running back. Does that make a lick of sense to me? When front side you have all the numbers? No. I don't understand it at all. But really what's happening here is Isaiah Oliver is reading Kyler, and he has to come from depth to make this play. Because if you watch Kyler here, look at Kyler's eyes. He's not even looking at Clemens. So it's not even really a read option. He's not reading Clemens. His eyes are down, and he's like, okay, I'm just going to fake it. He's not reading him. He's not reading Clemens in the slightest. Now, in my mind, is that a tendency that they're like, wow, this guy never sets the edge, so we're just going to pull it? Maybe. But also, the Jets coaches have to be telling him to do this. Unless he's just doing this on his own jurisdiction, which Robbie Sabo, who's smarter with the X's and O's than I am, said it's a 99.9% chance that they're telling him to do this. What is the issue here also is Quincy, he needs to be setting the outside. He doesn't set the outside. Now, Isaiah does a fine job trying to stay inside out, but Quincy's not setting the edge. So then Kyler just takes the edge. Isaiah is not going to win a sprint with him. and it's a touchdown. My mindset, one, I understand Clemens. No, I don't understand. I don't get why he's not the read player here for the Jets and why he wouldn't stay upright here in case Kyler pulls it. Why do we need so much help on the front side where we have numbers? This is now becomes a one-on-one on the outside. You have Sauce on Marvin. Sauce is never going to defeat that block. You would love Quincy to defeat the block at the tight end. But Isaiah coming down from 8, really right here, Kyler's just a running start at the 16 compared to the 2-yard line. It's a 14-yard difference. But you see right away Isaiah triggers. He triggers right away. So it does look like it's his responsibility. I just don't know how we're asking a guy like Isaiah Oliver to come down from 15 yards and try and tackle Kyler. I think Quincy does a bad job here, not engaging with the block, then engaging and shoved back, trying to set the edge, gets basically pancaked, and then it's over. It's bad schematically. It's really bad schematically. And I feel bad that I blame Clemens, and it's not even remotely his fault. I don't think this is his fault at all.
Here's a question I have for you.
Yeah.
Because you watch all the film from all the games.
Yep.
Since Salah's been fired, the Jets defense has allowed the highest EPA/play of any team in the league. Were these mistakes happening with Salah, or since Ulbrich has become the head coach, you're seeing more and more of this? What's been the biggest difference from Salah's defense versus interim head coach Jeff Ulbrich, who's still calling the defensive plays?
Man, I don't know. I don't know. Besides the fact that obviously they're playing so much worse. I wouldn't say it's like an Ulbrich thing per se. I don't know. I really would have to I could go back and I would rewatch. I'm trying to think how good the defense was playing with Salah. They
played well against Minnesota his last game before he was fired. They played well against Denver, but Denver at the time we thought was terrible. They're a little better than we thought.
Yeah.
They were good against New England. They were good in the second half against Tennessee. They were horrible week 1 against the Niners.
Right. So it feels like I'm looking at the schedule now too. It feels kind of like schedule based a little. I mean, giving up 37 to the Steelers you can't have it. Giving up 25 to the Pats, you can't. This is when Ulbrich was the coach. They gave up 13 to the Texans. I know they've been really bad. I don't think anything is changed besides the fact that they continue to lose and they continue to not play for one another. So again, there's no leadership on this team. You would think after last week, a good win against Houston, they'd be amped to play. And it's nothing more than I hate to dumb it down so much, but truthfully, the fundamentals have been so bad. They missed 20 tackles on Sunday. That's not normal. I don't know though. I can't say for sure if it's been an Ulbrich Salah thing. The scheme is the exact same. So it's not like they're running anything different. Maybe they're adjusting less. I thought they adjusted pretty well in the Texans game, to be honest. The Patriots game feels like so long ago now. The Steelers game was dreadful. And then obviously this game was even worse than the Steelers game. So
other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? Oh, man. Hit the like button if you're tuned in right now. We're talking with Coach Andrew Fialkow, his weekly spot on the show, breaking down the film. Hey, we're presented today by SeatGeek. If you're going to Jets Colts or you want to go to any sporting event in the New York area, make sure you use promo code Jake Asman with the SeatGeek app, and I'll save you $20 if you're a first-time customer. Shout out to SeatGeek for being a part of our show. Once again, promo code Jake Asman will get you $20 off your first SeatGeek order. If you've never used the SeatGeek app, download it. It is the best app if you're trying to get tickets to any sporting event, including Jets Colts on Sunday. Shout out to SeatGeek once again for being a part of our show. All right, Andrew, do you have another play of misery for us?
Yeah, this is the last one. And then if anyone has any ones they're dying to see, I could obviously pull it up. But I don't think anyone really wants to watch any more of the defense. I don't know. This one just stood out for me because it was 4th and goal. It felt like the team had a lot of momentum coming out of the half again. Maybe it was going to be similar to the Houston game. And look, I'm pretty out on Rodgers, and it's not really all against him. I just don't really feel like you could win with a quarterback that has this little mobility. And I don't know, man. At this point, the line just doesn't hold up well enough for him. And that says a lot considering his time to throw is like all-time low time to throw. But this play, it sucks because it's a play you need. So what was it, 21-6 at half or 24-6?
24-6, yeah. Was this the opening drive? No, this was not the opening drive of the third quarter, but this was like later in the quarter, right?
I think this was the opening drive because this was the fourth and goal where they didn't get it.
I thought they went 3 and out in the first. So they actually moved the ball in their first drive of the third quarter?
Yeah, I have this at 10:41 in the third quarter. So I think this was the first drive.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, this was literally one of the pivotal points of the game if the Jets were going to try and get back into it.
Yeah, I mean, you get a touchdown here, probably go for 2. You can make it a 10-point game with 10 minutes left in the third. Give your defense something to be excited about. It's obviously it's like a big turning point. So right off the bat, Moses and Olu are both going to get beat. So it's really not ideal. Again, the play call, not ideal. He hits the top of his drop. Devontae's not out of it, not out of his break. Garrett's getting doubled. Conklin's doing nothing like he usually does. Malachi's on a little return route that isn't developing. So look, so 1, 2, 3 from Rodgers. He's looking at Garrett, sees he gets doubled. Morgan's getting pressured. So is Olu. He gets out of that. Now, it just stinks because like a little bit mobile, more mobile Rodgers. Garrett does such a good job here, getting his head turned, seeing Rodgers come out of the pocket and getting in his line of vision, putting his hand up, getting open. Even Conklin's open basically here. But again, I mean, Rodgers doesn't have the mobility and gets strip sacked. Is that fully on him? Absolutely not. I mean, this is a really bad rep for Moses and Olu because honestly on Moses, you would hope Rodgers would step up if he feels it, but he can't step up because Olu's giving up a pressure inside. Garrett's open, Conklin's open. It's too late, and Rodgers gets murdered. Just to get on the back angle, I think Olu, I mean, hell of a spin move inside by 53. I don't know who the hell that is, but Olu just gets beat on that spin move. Let's see what happens with Moses. Just like a cross chop. It's not even bad for Moses. Like if he stays latched on, you would normally think this is pushing the guy out of the pocket, but since Olu gives up a pressure as well, oh man, if you just had one more second from Rodgers to like really get out of the pocket, you had Garrett, Conklin, and maybe he could have. It's just tough, and had me thinking like, if we just had a little more mobility, man. This is a touchdown, but again, I mean, this is on the line as well. So that really felt like the turning point in the game. And I mean, not the turning point, the dagger in the game.
Right.
So just really tough.
Well, my big thing with like Rodgers is at times he has looked mobile and other times he hasn't. And you would think with 9 days of rest where he's not on the injury report for the first time, he's a full participant at practice every day leading into this game. Yeah. And he looked somewhat mobile against Houston, right? He had that scramble on 3rd and 9 that got called back, but it was a nice run. Like, I thought he was going to play well. Grass field, defense is 24th in the league he's facing. So I was shocked that he struggled the way he did. I mean, what did you see from Rodgers on tape? Like, what is the biggest issue? Just game to game, his mobility sometimes is there, sometimes is not. Like, what do you make of that?
Yeah, I'll get, I just want to say one more thing about this play and then I'm going to turn it off. But like, I just feel like old Rodgers would know at this point. Like, it felt like he had no idea that the edge was behind him. Like, to be honest, you gotta he always has that feel too. Like, because he goes to throw the ball, he's like, oh, I don't think anyone's behind me. He's like going to cock his arm back to throw it. You see right here, he's going to throw it right there. He just had no awareness. It's so unlike him. I don't know. He's slow too. That's the film. But back to what you were saying. On film for Rodgers, it just feels like, again, every single play, someone takes their turn making a mistake.
That's what he was saying today on McAfee's show.
See, I wasn't.
We've heard that. And by the way, Rodgers said they had a great week of practice. I mean, the Jets lead the NFL in great weeks of practice.
We're not doing that anymore. I mean, that's why I'm not watching Rodgers on McAfee anymore. I used to look forward to it every week because it was like a glimmer of hope. I won't watch him on there anymore. But yeah, I mean, I don't mean to sound like him. I didn't even watch it today or hear him say that. But if you watch the film, it's either someone on the line's taking an L or, I mean, look, they got 0 blitzed, and we don't know how to react when we get 0 blitzed. Buddha had a sack. No one is on the same page. Nothing has ever been like good with the chemistry. I literally was talking in your Discord today with someone, I forget the name now. about like what's truly wrong with the offense and like why are we so good some games and so bad some. I'm like, let's think about it though. Like we've played 10 weeks now, or it's 9 weeks now, and we've played 7 or 8 good quarters of football on offense. That's about it. So like it's not like crazy. Like it's not like, oh, how are some games we so good? It's like a shot in the dark that we've been good. I mean, you think back like the Houston game, if Garrett didn't make 2 one-handed catches, we'd be talking a whole different story right now. So it's there's so much wrong. It's also the scheme, Jake. The Jets scheme is not. It's the Rodgers scheme, and it's not a good offensive scheme. There's a reason why no one in the NFL runs it besides the Cowboys, who finally caught up to them this year when they didn't have anyone that could beat man coverage. They've been so bad against man. I know CeeDee's been great, but besides that, he's been getting double the time. Those are the only 2 teams in the NFL that run this freaking West Coast stagnant offense. It's McCarthy and Hackett. They're the only 2 guys to run it. And look where the teams are this year. Like your QB can only be the hero so often. You need to have plays that are scripted to help them out, and we don't ever run that. So,
well, my big thing would be like it works with old Rodgers when he would have more mobility to be able to extend plays and off platform, and we saw that in New England or against New England in the home opener. Like I had an end zone view that game, so I watched Rodgers scramble, roll out. He looked like vintage Aaron Rodgers. I'm thinking, okay, well, it took him 2 games to really shake off the Achilles rust, and he's still going to be able to be an athletic, not what he was, but still an athletic mobile quarterback. Hasn't been that guy since. There's been moments, throws. The second half against Houston was great. But it's not their game to game, and the scheme's not doing them any favor. So I wonder, look, this is like a big picture question here. He's under contract for next year. If he is back, right, there'll be a different coach, different GM. Yeah. If he wants to play, the only caveat of him coming back and playing is, dude, we got to modernize this offense. We're drafting a quarterback. That guy's going to sit behind you, but we're modernizing this offense to what every other team in the league besides Dallas and us have been running.
Yep. And it's funny, Jake, when he won his 2 MVPs, it was when Matt LaFleur took over the offense. They were running RPOs, jet motions, pre-snap motions, bunches, stacks, screens. It was a normal offense. There was scheming guys open. And Rodgers came out and said he hated it. He won 2 MVPs in that offense and still came out and said, I absolutely hate it. He hated it. He said he hates when he wants everything stagnant at the line. And you know what, Jake? That's the funny thing, because he wants everything stagnant at the line. And then we wonder why everyone looks to him to solve every issue when it's what he wants. He wants to be the one calling the protections, literally like he's playing Madden, switch every route whenever he sees the defense. And he's one of the smartest players in the NFL. But at some point, you can't, it's too much on your plate. And Garrett Wilson was actually on Deebo Samuel's Bleacher Report show. And Deebo asked him about how many hand signals Rodgers does each week. And Garrett said he's still working on it. You can find the clip. Garrett said, I'm still trying to figure it out week to week, because he has he said something like 50 to 60 different hand signals for different routes. And he's like, it's great, but I'm thinking so much. And that's what a lot of these guys are doing.
It's too much because he's not what he was. So you can't justify it. And even Devontae, the whole point of getting him was he would be caught up to speed. Well, him and Devontae have not been on the same page in a lot of these games so far still. He's had one great game as a Jet. It was a great half against Houston. That was it. Him and Devontae weren't on the same page. I can remember a throw where Rodgers thought he was going one way, Devontae was going the other, and the ball sails incomplete 5 yards away from him. They're not even on the same page, and he's supposed to be the guy who knows everything about this offense to help the other players on the team understand the scheme so they can be more successful.
Yeah, that's the exact thing. I mean, look, he was like a shot in the dark with the Devontae move, and obviously it's exciting, but it takes time for them to gain chemistry back, and it comes back to Jake, we have the worst coaching staff ever, legitimately. We have to just remember that not only are our players been so bad, but we still have Keith Carter coaching the offensive line. He's not going to have a job in the NFL after this year. Guess who also isn't going to have a job in the NFL after this year? Hackett. Once Rodgers retires, Hackett will never be in the NFL again. So we're basically putting out there no one that could coach. I like Ulbrich, but I think he's in over his head, and I feel bad because I feel like he was on his way to maybe getting some interviews, and I don't think he'll get interviews anymore. But offensively, we don't have a good coaching staff, and we also have a guy at the helm that wants to run it all his way, and it doesn't work. So
Someone had a funny comment here. Tommy Jets. Aaron Rodgers is only mobile on Thursday nights. His legs are too stiff by Sunday. Maybe there's something to that because honestly, the Jets are 2-0 on Thursdays.
Yeah.
And what's the record now? 1-7 on every other day of the week.
Rodgers said it that night. He's like, "Please play us like every Thursday night." But man, I don't know. And what you were saying about next year, after everything I've watched, I'm good off Rodgers, man.
Wow.
I don't want to run it back.
And you were the biggest Rodgers guy out there.
I am, and like I still like him. I just seen enough that at this point, like I don't know how we could be successful with him. I just don't. I don't see it.
With better coaching, is there a scenario for that or no?
See, that's the only issue. I don't think he wants. Like, how is he going to mess with a different coach?
Well, then he's either gone or he retires at that point because you basically give him an ultimatum. It's like, hey, like we're doing it this way. You're either in if you want to keep playing, or we're going to cut you and we'll spread out your cap hit either over 2 years or we'll just take a $49 million cap hit next year. We're playing a rookie anyway. Like I got that's really where we're at. Because he hasn't played well enough to justify the direction of the offense. You know what I mean? Like he could have input with a modern offense, but he can't be picking Hackett to call the plays and picking his, the personnel that's out. You know what I mean? Like he no longer could have the influence he's had because it hasn't worked. They tried it has not worked.
Exactly. Look, if he wants to come back and play in a normal modernized offense like a McVay, Shanahan, something modern. Sure. And if it wouldn't be the worst thing, I guess, if we drafted.
While still drafting a quarterback. Exactly. Yeah. You can't just have Aaron Rodgers as the guy. Like, we're trying this again with better coaching. It's better coaching plus someone sitting and developing behind Aaron to take over the following year.
Correct. So if he's down for that, which I mean, look, I don't know.
I have no idea.
Knowing him, I'd be surprised if he was thinking that this is going to be it for him. Like, I feel like he cares too much to end his career like this, but he did have a weird comment in the postgame. I don't know if you saw it. He said something like, there's a lot of emotions going on right now. And then they asked him about it and he said like, he didn't want to talk about it at that moment. I don't know if he was alluding to that he's thinking of retiring, but
well, he said the previous week he hasn't even thought about retiring. I don't think he has any intention of retiring, but how much worse does this get, right? They're 3-7 right now. I think it really depends how these next 7 games go.
Right. Well, I don't know, man. If they somehow squeak out 7-10 and Douglas stays or some BS like that, we can't. We got to.
He's gone. He's gone.
He's got to be. Man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to be out on Rodgers. I really wanted this to work, but I just feel like like Jake. I don't know what is like the ceiling next year. What can we do differently? Like personnel wise, that's going to change. I mean, I don't know. It feels like we have all the talent in the world.
It's all coaching and a better kicker, and they'd have a couple more wins.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Look, if Rodgers wants to come back with a coach that is competent, I wouldn't be upset about it, obviously. But I don't know, man. They can't run it back with like Downing and Hackett. So
no, like forget it. There's no point if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. We need 11 channel members for the Matt O'Leary Ahmad Gardner emoji to be added for all channel members. All right, some super chats coming in here, and then we'll mix in some calls with Andrew as well. Luffy wants to know, Andrew, is the O-line holding up? So we showed the one rep where Moses and Olu got beat. But overall, I looked at the PFF grades for the Jets, and some of their top players were John Simpson, AVT, Olu had a pretty good game, it appears. He should be the permanent left tackle going forward. What did you see on film watching the offensive line this week?
They hold up in the pass game. In the run game, not so much, but the run game's been so bad the whole year.
I thought they went away from it too quick, by the way.
They did because it was working on Sunday. Like outside zone was working. I don't know if they ran any real gap scheme stuff, but the Cardinals have a very bad rushing defense, and they went away from it too quickly. But I think the O-line is like a small bright spot for the season, especially because I think we really have 4 guys locked in next year in Tip, ABT, Simpson, and Olu. You have 4 starters going into next season. I feel like we rarely have that. And I'm pretty high on – I've been very high on Tippmann, very high on AVT. Simpson's a solid vet, and Olu is just starting. So, look, that's something there. I feel like there's been a lot of seasons past. Like last season, we had to make like 4 different new guys on the O-line. So,
I mean, Fashanu, Simpson, Tippmann, AVT, pretty good core to build around. Now, AVT being injured is a concern, but he only missed 2 with the ankle sprain. The other 2 injuries were kind of fluky. If AVT could put together a good last 7 games, I feel a lot better about the core of the O-line going forward.
Yeah, it does feel like he gets injured a lot, but yeah, I agree. I hope that he stays healthy, and then you have 4 guys set, and you really need to lock in at maybe right tackle. I mean, maybe Moses comes back next year. I don't know.
Wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, wouldn't hate it.
All right, some super chats here. But first, this comment from Jake West made me laugh. Wow, Andrew aged 10 years because of the Jets. He looks 23 now.
See, I'm not. I haven't got a haircut, so that's probably why I look so much older. But yeah, I mean that I've lost years and gained years in both bad ways by watching this team.
Were you bullied at school for being a Jet fan?
I can't. I'm not. I don't tell anyone I'm a Jet fan, man.
Do people take your lunch money at recess?
I can't get in the conversation. This is the most I could talk about the Jets.
By the way, you're going to be our quarterback guru this offseason as we break down possibilities for the Jets in the first round, because that's going to be a real conversation, it feels like.
Yeah, it's got to be. And of course, it's not the best quarterback draft class. So, but again, it's all about situation. If we bring this kid in with a good offensive mind, a good infrastructure, anything could happen. Because look, I don't remember if you remember I told you I was not high on Jaden Daniels going into the season.
Yeah.
And Cliff Kingsbury has done such a good job with him, and he looks so comfortable. They run off. I could talk about their offense. They run in a really good way. And then you look at what's going on with Caleb, and they're bringing him down. It's really about the environment around him, like around the kid that you're going to bring in. Even Drake May looked really good yesterday. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, super chats keep coming in. This one from the big fella. Getting rid of JFM was bad. The loss of JJ, though, was devastating. Thought Reddick would have helped when he went down, but he screwed us. Sauce equals cat emoji. Thank you for that, big fella. Look, losing JFM was horrendous. We all knew that was a bad move. We thought they'd have Reddick, though, to kind of alleviate some of the concern there. And then you lose Jermaine Johnson in week 2. And, like, that was the thing I said all offseason. It's like, just because this defense has been as good as it's been the last couple of years, doesn't mean they're going to be as good this year, because they didn't suffer any real major injuries the last 2 years. And this year, Jermaine, who was in the Pro Bowl last year, their best overall defensive edge as far as rushing the passer and stopping the run. Yeah, they have missed their captain, CJ Mosley, for most of this year. He's been banged up. I think that's a big loss, and a bigger loss than people realize. Yeah. DJ Reed's been in and out of the lineup. Sauce has been banged up in some games, and I don't think he's ever really been right since he dealt with that shoulder injury.
Michael Carter.
Carter in and out of the lineup. Like, this has not been – they've lost their starting safeties for weeks already this year. They weren't great to begin with, but still, like, they dealt with more injuries on that side of the ball than they have the last 2 years combined. And sometimes that's just luck. And the Jets were due for some bad luck on that side of the ball injury-wise.
Yeah, but also, not that safety is the most impactful position. It's better to have Tony Adams out there than Isaiah Oliver. And, I mean, Mills has played good, but he's not – I would rather Tony Adams. But, yeah, you're right. We also, we're neglecting the fact that, I just remember Chuck Clark too. Losing JJ is huge. From last year, you lost Quinn Jefferson, who had 8 sacks, JFM, who's more underrated than people seem to think. And we lost who's the other person, player we lost that I'm forgetting on the D-line?
Bryce Huff. Yeah.
Huff, obviously. And Reddick has been whatever. And Reddick was never going to make a big impact on this team coming into the season 9 weeks in. Like, he's literally just farming for sacks at this point for his contract. So, and Quinnen also had a really tough start to the year. Right. He's been awesome for the past 4 or 5 weeks, but he was almost invisible for the first 6. Literally the only consistent player that I've found is Will. I think Will McDonald has been unreal. Even Quincy the past few weeks has been like missing tackles like crazy. The whole defense is out of sorts, man, and it's so much stuff to go wrong, but they've all went wrong.
Stack says, hit the like. It's free. That's right. If you're one of the 400 people in here right now, thank you for your service. You're truly a diehard Jet fan if you want to watch film back from this debacle. So we appreciate that one. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Jets 830 question: did we get flexed out of Sunday night? I guess you missed the announcement last week. Yes, thank God the Jets have been flexed out of Sunday Night Football. Imagine Joe Flacco, Aaron Rodgers, Jets Colts in primetime this week. Ugh.
Yeah. That was a great flex out now that we look back at it.
Tremendous. Bo says, I think if we stick to the playbook that everybody knows, it keeps the hand signals to yourself. Now we're playing free.
If we think we stick to the playbook that everyone knows,
so he wants to get rid of the hand signals.
Yeah, I mean, it won't work. It won't happen, but I don't know, man. At this point, I've stopped caring, so I don't really.
Stack has gifted a channel membership. That means we're just 10 away from the O'Leary sauce emoji going into effect. Thank you to Stack. Scott's Garage is the recipient of the channel membership. So there you go. Well done, Stack. Appreciate your support. Super chat from Rob. Would a simpler offense with Tyrod look better?
Yeah, to an extent. To an extent, it would. Tyrod just is more mobile, but it would also look worse in some ways. I don't know. We haven't seen Tyrod play in a while. It would look better in some ways, worse in some ways. It doesn't matter though. I don't think that means anything. It literally means nothing. Tyrod's not a long-term starter for us, and we're not winning games this year to make the playoffs. So it doesn't really matter.
Now, what if they win 7 in a row, Andrew? What would be your thoughts on that?
So, I'm thinking what I would do for them to win 7 in a row. But that would, if they missed the playoffs winning 7 in a row, then I would legitimately never talk about the Jets another day in my life. I would not be a fan of the team anymore.
10-7, they still missed the playoffs. Could you imagine?
Yeah. If they did that to us, I legitimately would stop being a fan. If they win 7 in a row and make the playoffs, and I don't care if they get blown out in the first round, I would be so happy. I mean, it would be one of the best moments of my life, probably.
7 in a row, man. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lup Man just delivered 5 channel memberships to get us closer to our goal of 15 channel memberships to add the new emoji. We're 3 away, but because of Luppy giving us a 5 spot, we simply do this.
Money, 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 money.
All right, if you hear your name called, you are a channel member. You're an officialized maniac. Chronic Apples, James, D-Rock NY, Kevin Zitwicker, Green and White Militia. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just $5 to gift your fellow Asmaniac a channel membership. All right, comments, questions, super chats, keep submitting those. Big Fellow writes in, guarantee we draft a defensive tackle round 1. If they don't go quarterback, DT, I think will be pretty high on the list, right?
I mean, it depends what pick we have.
I don't love that in the first round, though.
It's not an important enough position for me to take in the first round, usually. I mean, just off the, I guess we can't. No, we need an edge. We don't need an edge, but we still could use an edge. I don't know. There's gonna be a whole new coaching staff in, because I'm thinking about the staff that hockey rotates their D linemen in and out every third play. So, I'm trying to think quarterback's a high need. I would take a receiver high at this point. I don't know what Devontae's deal is, and without Devontae, our receiver room is Garrett and Alan Lazard. I don't know what's going on with Corley, man. This regime loved him, and he just doesn't play or get targets. So I guess receiver. I think DJ is going to be gone, so we low key need CB2 already, unless they like Stiggers or Bernard Converse. But yeah, I guess now that I didn't really think about it. I guess D tackle is a pretty glaring need for this team.
Receiver's a big need too, though. You're right. It depends what happens with Devontae and who is Rodgers back for another year, but they do need another receiver.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lazard. They might if Rodgers gone, Lazard and Devontae are gone. I think
Lazard's probably gone either way because you can't justify a third receiver making $12 million next year.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up. I don't know how much dead cap He has.
It's easy to get rid of. Sal even said the quiet part out loud that he's here for a year and a half last year. Remember that?
Right. Yeah, you're right. It looks like how much dead cap is it? $6 million. It might be less. I don't know if this is right. But yeah, then your receiver room is Garrett Wilson, Xavier Gibson, and Malachi Corley. That's an issue. So this is a good receiver draft. So I would hope to take one at some point. But yeah, we need to go QB in first round if we can. Like I have a bad feeling that we're gonna miss out on Cam and Shador. So I don't know where we're gonna pick, but
which might be okay if they like some of the other guys there. Just no one knows how the board's gonna play yet.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't even looked. Like, you know what's funny, Jake? Before the season, I looked, and I think I told you that Carson Beck was like the first overall pick for the mock drafts. I can't anticipate him going in the first 4 rounds. Like, I literally can't. I don't think it's gonna happen. He's
been that bad?
Yeah. And going into the season, everyone had him like as I'm sure. I would love to hear what Gary had his grade on him going into the season, but yeah. And apparently wherever Shador goes, Deion's gonna go. So I don't know how much we want. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but I don't know if we want that.
Yeah, I mean that. Who knows?
Yeah, you got Quinn Ewers, Garrett Nussmeier is okay. Jalen Milrose, super athletic. I don't know how he's going to translate as a passer.
I think Dane Brugler has Milrose as number 2 quarterback right now.
Okay.
Milroe, to me, if you're going to take Jalen Milroe, he's actually perfect for Rodgers to come back for another year because Milroe is so raw. He's got all the physical traits, but he's raw. Yeah. You let him sit. That's not the worst idea. He's Anthony Richardson, but the Colts were dumb to play Richardson right away. You should be sitting and learning.
Yeah. I mean, what they've done with Richardson is so bad, just like yanking him, playing him, yanking him. But yeah, I think you also, we haven't talked about it, but I'm still intrigued by Jordan Travis. I am. Yeah. I still want to give him a chance. And I don't know. Like we said, if he didn't tear his ACL, he would have been probably a 2nd-round pick.
You know what the problem is with him, though? You have a new regime coming in that didn't draft him, didn't evaluate him. So how do they feel about Jordan Travis? And no one has any tape on him as a pro because he didn't play as a rookie.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. I know. I don't know, man. But yeah, I guess I feel like we can say like the quarterback room next year is the biggest question mark. It could be completely brand new with like Rodgers and Tyrod gone, or it could literally be Rodgers, Tyrod, a rookie, and Travis, or it could be probably most likely Rodgers, a rookie, and Travis. And then you have the rookie and Travis maybe battle out. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, look. You can add another quarterback even if you already took a young one last year. I mean, thank God the Niners took Brock Purdy. Otherwise, they would have been screwed. You know, they took Brock Purdy the same draft they took Trey Lance.
Yep. Crazy to think that.
Kyle Clifton says, if bad quarterback draft, don't force it in the first round. All callers do is complain about Zach, but seem willing to repeat. But here's the difference, though, Kyle. Zach Wilson was not a reach when the Jets took him 2nd overall. If they didn't do it, the Niners were going to take him 3rd overall. I know that for a fact. That's been out there. Like, he ends up being a bust, which shows you how hard it is to draft the position, because the greatest offensive coach in the league, you could argue, took Trey Lance, who's to this point actually been a bigger bust than Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson at least got on the field and played. Trey Lance can't even play. They already gave up on him so quickly, and he's a 3rd string in Dallas behind Cooper Rush. Like, think about that. Cowboys are going with Cooper Rush over Trey Lance. That's how bad Trey Lance apparently is. So, like,
crazy.
But my point is, like, Zach wasn't a reach. Like, he was thought to be a legit top 5 prospect that year.
Yeah. And yeah, we don't need to talk about Zach, but I agree with what Jake just said.
This one's from Bethpage Chris. Then we'll mix in a call or two and say goodbye to Andrew. Andrew, 5 wides have been a disaster. Everyone knows it's coming inside 3rd and 5. There's no protection, and the throws are rushed because of it. Thoughts?
I completely agree. When you go empty with Rodgers and you're not chipping the edges, I mean, I don't think they've done it as much as I thought they have because they usually keep Brees in to pass block. I would love to find the stat to see how many times they've been sacked and empty, though. That you can't go empty with a non-mobile quarterback. Like, you're asking to get blitzed with 6 guys. It's all they have to do, play man back on the back end and hold up for 2 seconds. So we can't go 5 wide. I don't know why we continue to do it. I feel like even more of the time we've been going like 3 wide with Conklin and Brees in, and then somehow they still get home with a all-out blitz. It's happened probably once every week for the past like 7 or 8 weeks. Again, horrible coaching. They're just hoping Rodgers bails them out every time, but he literally cannot move. He cannot move at this point. So he's not going to bail you out. And you know what's funny, Jake? I actually think after the Minnesota game, when he got banged up, I feel like he was just trying to put out there that he said last week, the best he's felt. Doesn't look like it. The best he really looked was the New England game. He actually looked fully healthy there. Like not fully healthy, but his fully healthy self that he could be coming off the Achilles. Then after the Vikings game, when they got him, he tore his leg, went in 3 different places. He was limping off the field.
Denver too into the London game. It was back-to-back weeks. He got his shit kicked in. Yep.
Correct. So I don't think he's healthy. He might have just said that to try and like get the team going, but I don't think he's healthy either.
Big fella. If we pick a quarterback, I like Jackson Dart. He's an interesting name to watch because he was a former 5-star. He's kind of bounced around college, but
yeah. I don't know how old he is. He's only 21. Okay.
Him spelling his name Jax is fascinating to me.
Yeah. I actually he comes from like that Ole Miss offense that Kiffin runs where it's so spready and up tempo. It's really hard to translate a guy to the NFL with that, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wonder where he's going to end up going.
Third man says, can you check the Connor screen first drive? Wasn't there a block in the back not called? That play changed the game.
No, I know exactly what he's talking about. Whoever had man coverage on Connor like sprinted forward to try and like make the play. And I don't think it was a block in the back. I think the lineman made like a legal play. Thanks, Gary. See, Gary's fixing the guy's felon.
Where's the 2-back set pin?
I feel like they used it a little bit.
We saw it a couple times on Sunday, no?
Yeah, I think that's probably the most successful formation the Jets have had in the last couple of weeks, and they could run more out of it. But I don't even know, Jake. The drives, they had like 3 good drives within like the first 5 or 6 drives. Just happened that 2 of them were field goals and 1 was the 4th and goal they didn't get. I don't think the offense was like bad per se. It just they didn't convert touchdowns like the Cardinals did.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. You have time for a couple calls, Andrew?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you already mentioned his name earlier. We say hello to Gary. Hello, Gary.
What's going on, guys?
Yep.
Andrew, you mentioned me before. I was watching some tape on some fighters. Who did you want my opinion on? Was it Shedeur Sanders?
No,
Is that who you said?
It was Carson Beck.
7th round grade, undraftable.
I wouldn't say he's undraftable. I wouldn't take him in the first. The only quarterback right now I would take in the first round. It's interesting that someone said Dart because I'm borderline putting him in the first round, but you guys aren't going to like him because he throws interceptions. He's going to throw a healthy amount of interceptions in the NFL. So if you guys are allergic to those are the worst things. And not you necessarily, but Jake and the chat. I mean, that's like a fate worse than death throwing an interception.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between throwing some interceptions and you defending Jameis Winston for throwing 30 in a single season. But continue.
You take the good with the good and the bad with the bad.
I don't have time for this. Go ahead. What else you got?
But I think Jackson Dart is good. He was the quarterback at USC before they brought in Caleb, and then he went to Ole Miss. And I said Jackson Dart's better, and I stand on that. Right? Like I think he's better than Caleb Williams. So I said that about Hurts when Hurts got replaced by Tua. I said I think Hurts is better than Tua. Hurts is also a Texan, so he had that going for him. But
all right. Well, wait. What do you think about Carson? You don't have any thoughts?
I wouldn't take him in the first. I haven't really watched the tape on him. I was high on him before the season started.
Yeah, so is everyone. But.
Yeah, and it's not been good. No. I'll take a close look. I like Cam Ward.
Yeah,
I don't like Quinn Ewers. I've disliked Quinn Ewers for the same reason since his junior year of high school. Don't go near him. He's a low IQ football player. I mean, said the same thing about Joe. You can't fix stupid. He'll never make good decisions. So it doesn't matter his arm talent, his release time. It doesn't matter. It's not. Yeah. He just throws the ball 50-50 balls. And in high school, it worked until the state championship game against Westlake. And you see it works most of the time in college, except when it doesn't. And then he throws 3 interceptions, right? Like,
Right.
You guys just like, I'm all for a gunslinger like Jackson Dart, but it's got to be smart. You just can't go in swinging for the fences on every play. It's not going to work, especially in the NFL.
You've probably watched more Jackson than I have, but just from what I've seen, especially in like the Kiffin offense, everything's so spread out. It's a lot of like, it's not a lot of NFL type reps where like he's one under pressure, making a play out of structure, or like throwing a guy open, ripping an in-breaker. That's just like, those are like the things that would go through my head, like when watching a rookie quarterback to see if he would translate. Bailing from like pockets that are clean. I don't know well enough. I'm just like genuinely asking you.
No, he's not bailing on clean pockets. He's got that little bit of Spencer Rattler in there where he'll hang in till the absolute last second to get rid of the ball. But they had that other quarterback that was drafted. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin had that quarterback that was drafted in the Kenny Pickett draft.
Matt Corral.
Matt Corral. I was really high on him, and I guess he was.
I loved him.
I know he's a head case, I guess, but he never got on the field. He beat up Wayne Gretzky's kid in high school and got kicked out of one school and stuff like that. Like, there's something wrong with him in the head.
Sounds like your kind of guy. Yeah.
Well, they had Jim Kelly's nephew too, who was like a first class dirtbag too, and they brought him in. So
first class dirtbag.
But I want to talk to you about Sauce. Like, I know this has not been a good year for Sauce. Obviously, it's been the worst year of his career, but I still feel like for most of the game, it's not that bad. Like, he's not getting cooked all day. He's not letting receivers go for 150 yards and 3 scores. Like, his weaknesses are glaring, and like we're noticing them more and more.
Yeah.
But like, I don't feel like he's getting lit up all day like he's a bad cornerback.
No, he's not. Everything's being magnified because of how bad the team is. Also, it doesn't help that anytime he makes a play, he's magnifying it more himself because he tweets about it and like can't just like suck it up, take accountability, and move on.
Just
like
say nothing.
Yeah. Like just talk about it with the media and don't get on Twitter. Like I just said it earlier, like he's my age. So like he just gets on Twitter and rants like so immature. But I had this stat from earlier, Gary, like one cornerback play, like it has the highest variance year to year. I think you know that. Like it's a really hard position. Like the penalties cause a lot of bad things to happen. Again, it's like it's the second hardest position to play in the NFL besides quarterback. So it's hard to like duplicate the season he had last year. And then the stat I had was he's probably targeted a lot less last year, but he's still 29th out of 95 qualified cornerbacks in targets. So he's still barely getting targeted. Like he's still a really good cornerback in coverage. He's just never been a good tackler. He's never been.
And I talked to Jake earlier today about that, right? And Jake made a good point. I wanted your take on it, where he's like, well, he's been such a dominant shutdown corner at every level, like high school, college, that he never had to really learn how to tackle. And it's like, I mean, is that what you think it is? Because, I mean, to me, it's like I said, free throw shooters, NBA players who can't shoot free throws irritate me. Boxers who cross their feet. Like, these are basic things you need to know how to do. Right?
No, my point was, Gary, it's kind of like it was that he wasn't exposed as much when he was in college and his first couple, because he wasn't like they weren't looking his way. And like it wasn't as glaring of a weakness because there were other players who were good against the run helping him out. Like JFM would set the edge a lot. So if he'd be on Sauce's side, you wouldn't have to worry about Sauce having to make a one-on-one tackle, like an example like that.
Also, Gary, and Jake, obviously, but what you were saying was, I think teams have consistently ran their run plays to whatever side Sauce is on, like a lot this season, because they see on film he's just not willing to tackle. He just has no willingness to put his head down and make a good tackle ever. He tackles high up. He goes for the hug. It's no technique I've ever heard of in my entire life. And you want to know that's also funny is the Jets put Sauce on the same side of the field every damn rep. So it's not like they even have to flip the play at the line of scrimmage. They know exactly where Sauce is going to be. And the best run plays, what do you have? You have it blocked up perfectly, and you get a one-on-one with the safety or a cornerback, and your guys to make a miss. And the amount of times it's been one-on-one with Sauce, and he misses a tackle or gets driven downfield for 6+ yards, the Jets just never change. So, and I don't know. At some point, it's got to be on the cornerbacks coach too, man. Like we got to teach these kids how to tackle. If they don't know how to tackle. Like you said, it's like shooting a damn free throw. Like this is peewee football, learning how to tackle. So,
yeah, it's frustrating. You get to this level, you're all pro NFL player, and you haven't learned how to tackle. It's beyond frustrating. Like, do I have to teach you how to use toilet paper too? Like, I feel like you should know this. Like, this is not on the job training. This is something like a prereq that you should have had. It's frustrating. And like the last thing is this team. Like, I'm checked out as a fan, so it's not okay, but I understand. I mean, do you think the Jets are just 31-6, 20 missed tackles, offense is putrid, defense is worse? Are they just checked out at this point? Is this just going to get really, really ugly at this point?
Yeah, but like you said, like I don't care. I'm like the Jets mean more to me than a lot of things in the world, and I'm also detaching myself from caring. Like, I'm still gonna do Jake's show and write articles, but I'm no longer gonna let them affect my mood. I actually caught your call earlier, and I heard what you said about it's literally like it's like an abusive girlfriend. Like, you would just stop and break up with them. But we can't do that because it's a sports team. So what you can just do is just emotionally shut down. So I'm just shutting down. I'm not going to care anymore. Unless someone like Garrett gets hurt or someone that I care about on the team. But besides that, I don't give a damn what happens in the games, wins or losses.
And then as far as
I'm not going to do the clapping seal part.
What do you mean?
I do want to, but I'm not going to do it because Gator's going to use it out of context, and then it's going to go viral, and then I'm going to have to look at it forever.
I saved you from too much Gary there, Andrew. You're welcome.
I realized we were chatting for a while. Yeah, I did.
Gary, you used up all your minutes talking about Carson Beck.
Yeah, I figured if we got into college football talk with him, it was going to go for a while.
Now, Andrew, we're way over your allotted time, and you always come through for the people, but there was an incident that happened on the show this morning, all right? I'm going to play it for you, and then I'll explain why. If you have any extra time, I'm going to need you to stay on for one more call.
You're ridiculous. Yeah. Oh, you got one more call? You got enough for one more call? Look at Jake, he's laughing. I've been waiting in the back. You put that guy on. Who is he? You're ridiculous. Yeah. So how you doing, Robbie Sable?
Good. What's up, buddy?
No, goodbye, Bobby. See ya.
I did apologize to you in the chat today. I did. You said hello to me. I said hello back. Remember?
I do.
Okay, so let's drop it. So Andrew, I want to be serious now.
You got it.
This is serious, Bobby. No clowning around. Serious. We're talking about football right now. Okay, remember the beginning of the season in training camp, right? Who was in charge of the offense, like kind of, they always showed? Was it Robert Saleh?
Nathaniel Hackett?
No. They showed Robert Saleh get into the offense. Remember, Jake? They had him on the offense, looking at the offense when Nate showed us.
He was supposed to be more involved in the offense.
Yeah, okay. So he's the one that came up with the pony idea. Where has that happened? No pony. They don't do that anymore. That, like you said, they do stupid plays. So that's one for Sal. I give Sal that, okay? And I'm being serious now. I'm not being a diva. I'm being serious about football.
All right. I got you.
I love you, Jake West. So we want to get rid of, Hackett's like you say, he's not going to have a job. He probably get a job at DoorDash delivering food. That's his only job he could have, So let's go. I like Jake brought up the offensive guy, the offensive people who could help us better than the defensive people. Right? And I got to ask you a question about a quarterback for the draft. The guy from Notre Dame. Do you like him?
Notre Dame. Will Howard?
No, I don't have my period. I'm sorry, 25. Stay off that crack, little boy.
You're talking about Will. No, not Will Howard.
No, Riley Leonard.
Riley Leonard. Yeah, the kid from Duke.
Well, he plays on Notre Dame now. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Do you think he will be a good quarterback for the Jets?
I haven't watched him enough.
I think he's gonna be good.
You like him? Yeah.
Yeah, little boy. Yeah, he's a little boy compared to me. Yeah. Thanks, Ted. I know I'm not a coffee boy, so I agree with that. Oh yeah, Philly News. I'm on fire. Woo-hoo. So no, I want Riley Leonard, the Jets, to get him. I think he's good. Hey, come on, Pete. I'm your friend. You deliver DoorDash. Come on.
Any
Come
final
on.
thoughts, Bobby?
Yeah, Jake, I know you got to leave and let me leave. And Andrew, it's always nice to talk to you. You know who you remind me of, though?
Why do I feel like this is going to be negative?
No, it's positive.
Oh, okay.
You ever see the show All American?
Yeah, me and my buddy used to watch that.
Yeah, do you know the guy who used to be the receiver? He couldn't be the receiver anymore because he's sick. Now he's a coach, or like you, offensive coaches.
You really that's a huge Asher?
Yeah, Asher. Yeah. He has the
crazy.
baby.
That's a huge compliment.
Yeah, because he's gonna be a head coach of the other team, remember?
Yeah,
the other guy he left for his what do you call it? He looks up to this guy. You remind me of him, exactly like him. Damn. And then you have to, for 7 more weeks, you're going to have to look at this crap every day and then report to Jake the sad news that we see on the field. Hopefully, they wake up in 7 games, like Jake said. Maybe they could go 7-0. Right, Jake?
Right, Bob.
Okay, now I'm out of here. I did good today, right now?
I was
serious.
That was a good call, Bob.
Was I serious, Jake, this time?
Oh, yeah, you're very serious.
I gave Andrew a compliment. Andrew's laughing like crazy. Okay, I'm out of here.
Bye, Bob.
Well, you know I love to talk and hate to tell you, Jake. When is your next show? Alan is a cartoon character. Bobby.
Oh, man.
Thank God you had time for Bobby. Otherwise, he would have put my butt on a stick.
Yeah, Jake, I was trying to text you. I have a buddy that's trying to call in, but he's like...
Oh, do you? Hold on. I just checked my phone.
He's being...
I don't see the name down below for your friend you referenced.
Yeah, well, Max, I'll give you like he texted me. I can't figure out how to call in, but I'm trying to.
Click the link that's pinned in the live chat, Max. I'll post it again for you.
What if he's on his phone?
You can do it from your phone.
Oh, yeah. Let's see if he figures that out. I could hang in for a couple more minutes.
Nick Shine with a good super chat here. I'll get your analysis on this. Thank you, Nick. Approach is simple. Attack Clemens with RPO. Make Sauce tackle in the open field. And when we go double wide 9, running up the gut with both DTs, getting doubled and scrape to our undersized linebackers.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to dumb it down, that's a great point, but it's dumbing it down to that. It's everything that he said is true. Again, with the Clemens RPO stuff, I kind of explained that it's not all his fault because they actually had an Oliver scrape over the top from depth, which was crazy in that situation schematically. But yeah, the wide 9, man, that's why the gaps are so wide open. That's why they run trap on us and everything like that. So that's a good point, though. Good point.
Oh, the pain. Your buddy Max is still not on the line here, so I don't know if he's figured out how this technology works.
Let me text him again.
David wants to know, does Bobby start falling from his number 1 seed? I mean, that's up to the committee chair. I mean, the way Bobby acted this morning, though, I do know it. It certainly sent shockwaves to the Asmaniacs, but good to see Bob bounce back with a good call there.
I thought that was a good Bob call, actually. I think he talked a good amount of football.
Yeah, it was more so the first call today. He was very upset he didn't get a chance to say hi to Robbie Sabo.
That's what he was mad about. Okay.
Yep.
I see.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Max Whitty is on the line, and he joins us now. Hello, Max.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Max, how are you?
What's up, man?
Oh, I'm in shambles. This team ruins my year every year. I can't even watch football anymore. But the age-old question comes upon us. We've gotten to the point in the season where everybody's given up. This team's terrible. So who are we rooting for the rest of the season? We need a new team.
That's not why you called in, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Really? Now, Nick Shine wrote, Max better have the greatest points ever with this build-up.
Yeah, this is. I'm never. Jake, I'll never do that again.
I will root for any team besides the Jets. Now, come playoff time, like I'd like to see the Lions win a Super Bowl. It'd be great for them. I will root against any team that beats the Chiefs and the Bills. Those are the 2 teams I don't like. So I'll start with that, and that's about it.
Sweet.
Who are you going to root for, Max?
The Packers, because we're basically the Packers already, so we might as well root for them too.
No, we're the Packers when they actually were good with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I like the Packers, so that's fair. Yeah. Any other questions, Max?
Jake Quest says, Max, give us Andrew's dark secrets.
That's when we win a Super Bowl.
All right.
I'll start.
So never. That's hype.
Yeah.
Thanks, Max.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Max, thanks for the time. Andrew, thanks for the overtime. Great film review, despite the nightmare that you had to put yourself through to actually break it down and watch it to educate us.
Yeah. See how Sunday goes. But now I don't know if any fans are out there.
I think they're gonna win Sunday. By the way, they'll lose after the bye, like they always do with extra rest. But I think they'll win Sunday, and there'll be some of you. I'm sure Neil will be calling in and be like, "Now they only got to win 6 in a row." We're gonna be like, "Neil, stop it."
Yeah, but you're right. They probably will win Sunday, and no fan that knows the team is gonna really care. They're
should. A 4-point favorite in some spots right now for Sunday, which is insane.
Look, they opened as like a +1.5 against Arizona and closed like -1.5. Like Vegas was like telling them Vegas was convincing me that the Jets were going to win the game. And then they get blown out. So yeah, maybe I'll have some good, you know what? Let's just hope for like some good Garrett film. Maybe Devontae, now that we have him. Just those are the players I'll be looking for.
Well, maybe we get the good version of Rodgers for a game. Like you never know what version of this team you're going to get.
Yeah. I could see the offense playing well, but who knows, man?
Yeah. All right, Andrew. Hang in there.
All right, guys. Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Fialkow doing his thing. Tom Ace writes in, home game, and we're not coming off a 10-day layoff. All signs point to a win. I mean, this could be a game they win because people are like, the Jets are a favorite. Why? But it's like the Colts aren't that good. That's why. Joe Flacco's look terrible. Peter Castro, Jake, is Clemens blind in one eye? Thank you for this comment, Peter. I enjoyed it. Comments, questions, super chats. They will cut the line. We need 12 more memberships to add the new emoji. I'm going to gift one right now, so we're only going to need 2. And then we will get there. So stand by. While we do that, let's get to more of your calls. Let's say hello to Joseph, who called in earlier and kind of caused a huge firestorm with Bobby Midnight and the Asmaniacs. What's up, Joseph? Joseph?
Yep, I'm here. Hello.
We're having some internet issues with Joseph.
Hello.
Hello. Testing.
Yes. Hello.
We'll get him next time. Call back. Tough one there. Maybe Bobby Midnight was right. Or maybe Bobby, as Nick Shine just wrote, sabotaged Joe's phone. I think that could have happened too. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gifting a membership right now. Here we go. If you got it, consider yourself lucky because you're officially in Asmaniac. And it went to listener S.O. Lami22. Boom. You're now a channel member. We need just 2. And we are all set to add the Sauce O'Leary emoji. All right, Joseph is called back. We'll give him one more shot. Joseph, what's up, man? Hopefully we can hear you.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little better. Go ahead.
All right, sorry. I'm a Uber/Flex driver, so I was in a bad area. But I'm calling because of Bobby. So he said, "Who the heck am I?" So I'm going to start showing my face a little more and show him who the heck I am.
Love this.
So,
Love this approach.
Yeah. So I've been following you for quite a while. I called in twice now. This is my 3rd time. Like I said, I am an Uber driver / flex driver / entrepreneur, and I'm going to make myself present for the foreseeable future. So Bobby knows who the heck I am.
I love this. Joseph, this is great. We need more people like you, not afraid to challenge the diva that is Bobby Midnight.
So I love Bobby, too. Like, I've always on when he went to the game live with the girl there with the uniform on whatever. Like, I was all, like, smiling because he's all there. He hasn't been there in a long time. He took a train. Everybody took care of him. And then he's like, who the heck is this guy? So I'm like, all right, fine. I'm gonna challenge him, like you said. So anyway, I just wanted to talk a little Jets. So man, I know I talked about a little about accountability earlier, and Yeah, it's still like I want us to keep this together as much as we can. It just scares me because of what we're dealing with. And I don't think tanking for a draft pick is the solution because we have people like Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner who hasn't tasted anything. And it's just like I'm at the point where I don't want to lose them as players because I think they're good for our franchise. It's just aggravating when these young guys that can't do anything.
I think they need a retool more than like, a rebuild, because like there's like
Right,
when you
right.
rebuild, typically you don't have this kind of talent. Now there's going to be some adjustments to this team, but the offensive line should be pretty much set. You have 4 of your 5 starters already. Like Garrett Wilson should be here. You should not trade him. Like you have Jermaine coming back. You have Quinnen, like Quincy. You still have some really good foundational pieces on this team that are going to be here next year.
This reminds me of the Lions. That's what they were. They had a good offensive line. They had good receivers, and they were like, we are a coach and a quarterback away. We got the quarterback. I still think Aaron Rodgers can throw. There's nothing has he been challenged at times this year? Yeah, I think that he's nervous because his offensive line has been kind of shaky at times. He can't get him on the same page because of terrible coordinator problems. I think that we're the Lions of a few years ago. As long as we can get a good coach in here, change the locker room, and start winning.
It's going to be tricky because I think with Rodgers, I agree with you. I think he can still play like in that 15th to 20th range, but I don't know. Like it's not for sure. And I think you would have to modernize the offense if you're bringing him back.
Well, yeah, and I agree. But that's what they did with Campbell. They modernized the offense. They've got the good coordinator in there, and they were able to do something. If you're saying Goff, he threw 5 interceptions the other day, and they still won the game. It's crazy. And I think that's where the Jets could be. I think the Jets could be at a point where they, as long as they do what they need to do and get the coach right, which we haven't done in forever, get the coordinator right, get the tools in here, and start going and start doing what they need to do and what they're capable of doing.
Yeah. Hey, Joseph, this has been a tremendous call. A couple things I want to do. First, I want to shout out the Lupman, who just got us over the threshold that we needed to add the new channel emoji. So, Luppy, you're the man.
Free stuff.
I just added the O'Leary sauce emoji, which will remain in effect until Sauce Gardner gets his act together. And then we will go back to the old sauce emoji that we had going into the season. If you hear your name called, you are officially an Asmaniac. Sean Conroy, Johnny451, Matthew Zucker, Racing Jason, Deladrian. You are all now channel members. Thank you to the Lupman for getting us over that membership threshold. The next thing I want to do right now is hopefully have a meeting of the minds. Hopefully we can clear the air because obviously earlier today there was an incident that happened on the first show when a very angry Bobby Midnight lost his temper and indirectly called out Joseph.
You're ridiculous. Yeah. Oh, you got one more call? You got enough for one more call? Look at Jake, he's laughing. I've been waiting in the back. You put that guy on. Who is he? You're ridiculous. Yeah. So how you doing, Robbie Sable?
Good. What's up, buddy?
No, goodbye, Bobby. See ya.
Joe, I was not mad at you at all. I'm sorry to take it out on you. I always like to talk.
You're good, man.
Hey, where are you from? New York?
I lived in New York most of my life, and then I moved to Texas, and now I live in Kentucky.
Oh, what part of New York are you from?
Poughkeepsie.
Oh, guess who lives up there? You know Mr. Bonesy?
Yeah, I'm Bonesy, yep.
Yeah, Bonesy. And do you know Snooky, too? From New Jersey Shore?
Jersey Shore? Yeah, I know who she is. I don't know her.
Yeah. And you know who you remind me of, though? Our other caller, Purple Belt Mike. You look exactly like him. I think you could be brothers or cousins. You do look like Purple Belt Mike, ex Jake.
I do know
Jake, Jake, do you think he looks like Purple Belt Mike? I think he does a little bit. Hi, Purple Belt Mike. I think you look like cousins.
I'm dying laughing. I called in because I heard you saying, you know what? He kind of does look like me.
I know. Well,
Yeah,
I thought
well,
you were the guy from
Got
the
the
Taco
glasses.
Bell commercial.
He's got more hair than me.
I thought
but-
you were
Well,
from
barely,
the
man.
Taco Bell commercial, remember? I thought you were on that one. You said it was an actor. or
I'm
something.
still waiting for this Wendy's commercial. I don't know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
no, not. Oh, it was a Taco Bell commercial.
Or whatever it was, Taco Bell. Yeah, I don't know,
you
man.
look like that guy, and don't you look like him?
Maybe it was Joseph.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Not
Do
me.
you have
No.
Taco Bell in
Nope.
the park? No. Okay, but you
All
guys
right,
look like.
JETS. Suck.
All right, Purple Belt Mike is awesome. Jake, I thought he did look like him. Purple Belt Mike called him. So you're
That's funny.
fine. You're a good guy. I apologized 3 times already. I am
I
very,
wouldn't
very
apologize.
sorry
It's no big
to act
deal.
like a child and a
You're
diva.
fine.
Hey, are you
You're
busy
fine.
after the
I've
show?
got
You
thick
can-
skin because I'm from New York.
Oh, I got thick skin too, but I'm gullible and I'm just a little Irish man. I get pissed off a lot. So would you like to come to my new show? Hey, are you there?
Well, you know, I have
Yeah,
my own
I mean-
YouTube show. If I'm awake, I'm going live. Unless Jake has a show, I'm Bobby.
You knew that was going to happen. The second Bobby uses his icebreaker. So where are you from? Oh, do you know where this is? No, you knew it was game, set, match. Meeting of the minds. Joseph and Bobby Midnight. Incredible. Mike D's nuts in the house. Bobby on divorces, starters, starting drama. Bobby on divorces, starters, starting drama. Thank you, Mike. J Quest writes in, Bobby, you have thin skin, not thick, buddy. Salient point there, perhaps. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is someone we respect. I would say someone we look to for positivity. And he's also from the Poughkeepsie area.
The only thing better than all these shoes is sexy Rexy, because he also loves food. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody, and man, these Jets are depressing.
Bonesy, do you know Joseph? You're both from Poughkeepsie.
I don't, but it's great to hear that I got another fellow Poughkeepsian in the Jake Asman. I know Saint Nick is also from the Poughkeepsie area, but I don't know Joe, unfortunately. I only know him if he played basketball, and he seems a little younger than me. So, but hey, I loved his takes though. He had great takes, and
he did.
I'm like a beaten, abused dog. I listened to Rodgers today, and I just want to believe so bad, man. I hate this team. I hate this team. I hate this team.
I hate them.
Shout out to Joe. When I listen to Rodgers, he really just I'm in love. I don't know what to tell you guys. Everybody out there, Rodgers will always have my heart, and I don't know, man. It sucks. It sucks where we're at. We're going to beat the Colts.
That's it.
Yeah, we're beating the Colts. I really do think we're going to win this game just because that's what we do. And then we'll lose to Seattle, and then it'll really be, the knockout punch. Or it'll be the same shit where one of my friends on the train was like, "Oh, we keep losing to NFC opponents, so it's not affecting the conference record. So even if we did lose to Seattle too, where we could get to 9-8 and still, it's like I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm sick of the roller coaster and just them pulling us in after a win and just giving us some positivity. But I'm not. Nate stopped by today. Shout out to Nate Dogg. That's my man. Until we're mathematically eliminated, I won't start cursing and really just giving up completely and talking about draft picks and all this crap. So I'm just gonna rock out, man. I got the new intro now, but I don't want to give up on Joe Douglas yet. Gator's forcing me to quit him. So I guess we'll see. Maybe after a win, we'll bring back the Joe Douglas. Anything better than Alden shoes is Joey D, because he totally rules. Jake, I just want to say everybody should just when you are doing anything with Bobby, people should just watch your face. It is really the best.
Thank you, Bonesy. Nate with a super chat. He writes in, Bonesy got more excited than Bobby meeting Noel when I told him it's possible to have a quarterback, Rodgers, GM Douglas, and head coach Rex in 2025.
I was giddy because I just feel if we were ever going to really give Rex a chance to come back, I think it would be good to let Joe Douglas draft him some talent. You know, one of the things that Rex got stripped of is being able to get any young talent on the team when he was around. He really didn't get a chance to even develop. He tried really hard. He made Quentin Coples probably give the best he could because Quentin Coples didn't play in the NFL after he left with us. Basically, he was a nobody. Wilkerson, you know, he did what he could. He got paid and then flopped. You know, he had but Kyle Wilson and
Rex cannot be the head coach with Joe Douglas as the GM. It's not happening.
I don't know, man. It's a wish. It's a wish of mine. Yeah. Keep my two boys.
I have a lot of wishes as well.
Well, hey, how was the bachelor party?
A magical time.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. I gotta know some details.
Let's just say your friend Mookie would be proud of the fellas.
Yeah. Yes. That's a classic story that only the Patreon members know about.
Only. Exclusive.
That'll go out. I'll go down in the books. But hey, shout out to everybody. I love all your boys. I missed Andrew today, but I had some customers in the store, and Joe Bonesy wasn't holding it down completely. He made me work today. So
wow.
But hey, I still I ordered that shoe for you, and I still probably have like 2 to 3 weeks. I'm hoping for them to come in, so I'll let you know when they're ready to come try it.
Let's go. Live show from Alden's. I'll be there.
Let's go, baby. JETS. I love Rodgers still.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bonesy checking in. Still believes in Joe Douglas. Mike D's Nuts says, dogs stay us. I might be missing a reference here, Mike. I'm sorry. I don't know what this means. Anyway. Gator wrote the Joey D intro is on pause. I think we do need an intro, though, that acknowledges that it's no longer the Joe D intro. Like, we went right to Rex and Feet, which I love. I think we need an intro for Bonesy that's like, he's like in the Joe Douglas like rehab facility or something. I don't know. We got to do something for Bones and his Joe Douglas sickness. It's over, Bonesy. He's 30-63. He has done some good things, but he has not won. And that is ultimately the job of the general manager to build a winning team, of which they are not. Mike D's Nuts says, I hate Super Chat. You're more of a gifted membership guy, Mike. That's your specialty on the show. All right, we'll do a couple more calls, and then we'll wrap. Let's say hello to Sean, who's up next. Hey, Sean, thanks for waiting. You're on mute, Sean.
Just playing a little Call of Duty, getting crushed.
Man, I was hoping Kyler would play a lot of Call of Duty, but it hasn't happened.
So I went to the game on Sunday. It was embarrassing. Luckily, I sat in the visitor section with a bunch of other Jet fans, so we were all just absolutely crushed. The energy in the stadium was light all around, I felt like. But anyway.
From Cardinal fans, you're saying, or from like the Jet fans who were there?
Oh, the Cardinal fans were pretty quiet until the end there. I didn't think they were that like impressive as far as cheering on their team.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been wanting to ask this question for a while, and I figured I'd do it with Fialkow on. But so what's the deal with Travis, with Jordan, man? Like, we're talking about drafting another quarterback. I get it. He's injured, but the kid was good. And so I get that he's coming back from injury, but I feel like we should give the guy a shot. The moment we trade him, he's going to be freaking phenomenal, and we're going to miss out. We're going to miss out on it.
Well, I don't think you trade him. I mean, he's under contract for 3 more years after this one, and we'll see what he looks like in the offseason program if he's got a legitimate chance to compete. To answer that question is impossible because you're not going to see him this year. He's done for the year. He's not playing. So does he play next year with Rodgers back and he's the bridge to eventually Jordan Travis if they feel confident enough in him. What's the tough part about Jordan Travis is this. This is a guy who was drafted by the Joe Douglas regime. Joe Douglas won't be here. This new regime doesn't care about a 5th-round pick that had a redshirt year. They'll look at him like maybe he's their long-term backup. Maybe he's something a little more. But they're going to operate like we either have Rodgers or another veteran. And then I think they got to look into drafting a quarterback.
Yeah, no doubt. And honestly, I got all pumped up on the Texans game, and I ended up buying my tickets literally the next day to the Cardinals game.
Ugh, at least you live out there.
Yeah, but I'm like, are we going to get – like, we can't get excited even if we beat the Colts. Like, it's not even worth getting, like, our hopes up until we see a couple wins under the belt.
Right. That was my big thing. It's like we've seen the Jets have a nice win and then come out flat as a pancake. And this was as worse as it's ever been. Like, I thought they'd lose, but I didn't think it'd be, 24-6 at halftime. I mean, what a joke, you know?
It was embarrassing, dude. It sucked to be in the building. I was like, at least at home I could have turned it off. But yeah, it was bad, dude. Probably worst football I ever seen.
Yeah. I'm sorry you had to watch it, man. Yeah, I give you credit for going, but it's tough.
Yep. Well, thanks for taking my call.
Sean, call back anytime. Great call. Hey, let's give a shout out to Andrew Fialkow. You kidding me? Fialkow, who did a yeoman's job with the film breakdown this week. Just dropped a 5 spot of channel memberships. Are you kidding me? This is for you, Andrew. Yeah. Here we go. 5 spot channel memberships. Brandon Barnes, Brett Steele, Mike Mime, Stephen Hendel, Net Mover, all receiving channel memberships. Welcome. One more time. Hit it, Bobby. Yeah. All right. 2 more calls, then we wrap. Let's say hi to the Lup Man.
Oh my God, I was laughing my ass off right now. That was hysterical with the music and stuff. Gators the man. I just got to tell you, Jesus. Oh, Jake. First of all, how do we go forward here this year? What would you do? There's no coaching. The coaching sucks. Are we going to get an interim coach, somebody else besides Ulbrich? What would you do right now as a GM or a owner? What would you do right now?
I don't think you could do anything at this point. They made their bed. They made their moves. It hasn't worked. They're going to basically going to play out these next 7 games, and I think I have a brand new GM and coach.
So we just got to take it. That's it. We just got to take it.
Well, what do you want them to do at this point? They're not going to bring in another interim head coach.
Get Gruden in there.
He's not taking the job in the middle of the season.
Somebody needs to. They need to do something. It's just
Luppy. They're 3-7. What do you want them to do?
I want them to do something. They don't do anything.
Well, they
so
stink.
Anyway,
that we know.
So okay. So next year, who is your head coach?
If I could have anyone,
yeah,
that's realistic. I'll say Kevin Stefanski, hoping he gets fired.
Yes, an offensive coach. Thank you. I love that. Listen, guys, I love you guys. I love you, Jake. We got to suffer together.
That's right.
Do it together.
Luppy, you're the man. Thanks for your support. One of the all-time greats. And notice, Luppy wrote not ranked. He's trying to crack the November power rankings for the Asmaniacs.
I am fine not ranked. I just want to know that I'm here. That's all.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Lup Man. Great call there from the Lup Man. Mike D's Nuts says, hate Super Chat, Mike, but we love you. All right, one more call. Let's say hello to Nate, parentheses Nate. Hello, Nate.
What's going on, Jake? How are you?
Nate, how was your Tuesday?
Pretty good. I saw Bonesy. That made it a lot better. And Joe Bonesy. And we talked about the Jets for about a half hour. That was fun. I think I got there right around when you did your first show. It's crazy we're here. It's crazy we're here. It's crazy you have to decide by Friday whether I want my season tickets or not by next year. And we don't know who the QB is, who the coach is going to be, who the GM is going to be, if the owner is going to be in the continent.
They raise your prices. How much did your tickets increase?
Mine went up. Mine are the ones that went up the most, like 26%. But I'm moving. I think I'm moving up to the 200s. But I don't even know. Like I told her to hold off until I find out anything. You know what I'm saying? Like Aaron could retire like Sauce. People are talking about trade Sauce. If there's a new GM and he wants to trade Sauce and trade Brees and like there's so many directions this can go in, or Aaron and Devontae, and we could just and the whole crew can like come back again next year. It's kind of wild. It's absolutely wild that we're just in this predicament already. I mean, we're technically we're not eliminated, but we know absolutely nothing about next year. I was talking to Bonesy about this. I said this in the super chat. He got super excited when his favorite quarterback, his favorite head coach is Rex, and his favorite GM is JD, obviously, and he wants them to all be together somehow. I don't think that's actually feasible, but with Woody, I guess anything is possible. I just think there's a strong chance Woody brings back Rex because of tickets. Like, obviously, you've heard it. No one's getting the tickets next year, right? No one's renewing. It's gonna be hard to get anyone in the stadium. But even myself, if I found out Rex Ryan was coming tomorrow, I'd probably want to watch Rex on the sidelines again. Like, as a Jets fan that grew up during that era, like you did in 2009, 2010, and in high school and in the heyday, like I'd want to watch what Rex could do. And I'm sure Rex would obviously keep the talent on the team. Rex is not a guy to bail on Sauce, and he would. You've heard him say he's given his opinion on ESPN what he could do with this team. So I would be excited as a Jets fan, even though I don't know. We all know what's going to happen, right? We had Aaron Rodgers and we've shit the bed. So like, yeah, we're going to get Rex Ryan back and we're going to be terrible, but I just don't know. I just want to win. I don't know, Jake. I don't know. I just want to win.
I get it. I'm not as anti-Rex as some are. I just would need to know who the GM is and what his staff looks like. Rex hired a great staff, but there needs to be a real plan for the offensive coordinator and then the long-term quarterback situation. Like, if you're going to run it back.
It can't be Aaron Rodgers. It can't be Aaron Rodgers.
No, you need to draft someone behind Aaron Rodgers. Right, yeah. And they need to run him out. And Rex was trashing the offense that they run, saying it's a joke, it's a high school offense, it's not a modern offense. Like, so this idea that Rex doesn't know offense, I think he does. His son Seth is on the Lions staff. They have the most innovative offense you could argue in the league, led by Ben Johnson, who's going to get any job he wants if he wants to take a job this hiring cycle. So I think Rex with the right staff could work. I just don't think the Jets will go down that path, but I could be dead wrong because I thought they were going to be good this year and they're terrible. So who knows?
I mean, I'm a Flores guy. I would love Flores, and he runs a similar defense and comes from the same kind of bloodline Rex did. So I'd be all for Flores too. He's a New York guy. But I could see Woody making the tickets move is getting Rex Ryan back, leaving everyone a voicemail in the offseason, and then Rex's press conference would be even more epic than his first one about kissing rings to Belichick, and people would be all over it.
I'll tell you what, I'd rather Rex than Belichick.
Regarding this. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Belichick would only come here to sabotage us and put hidden microphones in and then resign again and ruin us for even longer.
Mike says, don't renew, Nate. Boycott the bums, overrated bums. I mean, I know you enjoy being a season ticket holder. My big question would be to any season ticket holder like you is like, what benefits are you getting out of it? If the team is, you don't know anything about the team for next year. So why not just buy tickets for any of the home games you want to go to? I don't think you'll be losing that much money, you know?
Yeah. As of right now, there's no reason to. There's absolutely
like you could get into the building for $20 on Sunday. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. 100%.
Use promo code Jake Asman with SeatGeek, and you could go for free, essentially. I mean, use a different email if you've never used SeatGeek before.
We have no clue like everyone whose jersey we have, we don't know if they're going to be back next year. Our coach is not going to be here. GM's not going to be here. Like I said, the owner might be overseas. Like it's like our jerseys are going to be green. That's all we know about next year. We think
$38
unless
tickets.
The Titans back. There's
look at this cheapest ticket on SeatGeek, $38. This is with fees included.
That's not cheap.
$38.
Go to TickPick. TickPick, I saw 30. TickPick, I saw 30.
Use promo code Jake Asman, Nate.
Oh, sorry.
And then you'll get $20 off. There you go. Now you understand.
It'll work out. Yeah. I support.
Yep.
Yeah. Regarding this football team, I don't know. I couldn't even watch Sunday. I was mostly at a party that I only really saw the first quarter. But it seems like they could make, even on a drive, they can make 35 winning plays and then make 2 plays not to score, 2 plays to lose the game. So it's just wild. It's wild to see. We saw it with Denver. We saw it with New England. This was the worst ass beating of them all. But like it was
the biggest ass beating. You know, it was probably the biggest ass beating we've seen since Bobby Midnight on the show this morning.
That was Yeah, Bobby, that was tough to see. I think Bobby's still recovering from his channel and what happened to the original one, and he's on edge right now. Last thing, Jake, I didn't think we'd be more embarrassing. I know you remember this team with Nnamdi Asomugha and every single superstar signed with the 2011 Eagles.
Yep.
And this, with especially what's happening with Sauce and the social media and whatnot, like after all these losses, this is so much more of a clown show. Like, this is so embarrassing. I don't watch national media, but I can't imagine what the Nick Wrights or any other national podcast or anyone is saying about the Jets, if they're even talking about the Jets anymore.
They're getting destroyed. Yeah.
It's sad to see. I mean, everyone was right. Everyone was right to like, even I think people posted about what's his name, Deion Dawkins, the guy in Buffalo, about how we have guys that are basically call them individuals that just want to play to be cool. Like Sauce saying what he did in those tweets about, oh, you think a 17-yard cost us? Like, yo, you're on a defensive 11. You like, that's a big play in the game. Doesn't matter whether you individually played well. And he seems like a guy that, yeah, he needs a serious attitude fix. That like something has to change with Sauce Gardner. I'm not as concerned with his play as I am with his off the field attitude. Like he plays the hardest position in the world outside of quarterback, in my opinion. So like Jake, if someone plays 3 or 4 years as good as Sauce did, they're in the Hall of Fame. Like, how many quarterbacks play even 5 years in a row at like a top elite level? If they do, they're in the Hall of Fame. Like he's had a step back for sure, but he's not a bad cornerback in the league right now. He'll never be able to tackle. He's not physical. He's brutal, but like he's taken a step back. But that just means he hasn't been an All Pro. So but it's tough because now you got to pay him. If you want to keep him, you got to pay him. But it's not us to make that decision. It'll be up to whoever the hell the GM is who's got to make these decisions.
You don't have to pay him yet, though. My big thing. Like, let him play on his 4th year. You don't need to extend him early. They didn't do it with Quinnen. Like, that's what I would do. Like, let him earn it. You know, let him use this year as a little humble pie and go back to being the Sauce Gardner we saw his first years. And I do think, like, the Deion Dawkins criticism, I didn't think it was fair last year because this team without Rodgers still won 7 games, was in a lot of games, had no business being in games with how bad the quarterback and the offenses in general was. But this year, I mean, it's not the same. It's not the same defense. The special teams is egregious, especially the kicking game. We all know about that. It's just they're not the team we thought they were going to be in a lot of areas. We thought they were going to have built for Rodgers to then take to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, Will Levis doesn't fumble that. We're like worst team in the league right now. He doesn't roll the game to us practically. We found a way to lose.
But if we play that game, if Greg Zuerlein hits his kick against Denver, they win that game, right? Like you could do that for they are what the record is.
We'd have 6 wins and be a flawed team. That's 6 wins, just like a lot of 6.
But the point is, most of the league is flawed. How many good teams are there in the AFC? I think there's 3 good teams in the conference, like legit good teams. Kansas City, Buffalo, and the Jets nearly beat Buffalo. Maybe they do if Zuerlein hits his kicks that night. And then obviously Baltimore. Like that's 3. That's it. Who's the next best team? Houston? They're the other first place team. Well, guess what? The Jets just beat the Texans. So that's my point. It's like I'd rather be fake good than just as bad as the Jets have been.
Yeah, we suck regardless. It really doesn't matter. It's embarrassing, and it's just like, what's going to happen next week?
It does stink.
We're all going to tune in. We're all going to tune in and then watch your post game show. But at this point, it's like the Jersey Shore. We're just like a reality show and see what.
Some would say we're a clown show. Maybe Bobby was onto something with his dancing.
We're an absolute circus. And I've got tickets to all of them.
Nate, enjoy the game Sunday.
Thanks for the time, Jake. Looking forward to the tailgate.
Let's go, baby. Incredible. Fun show. Thank you all. Join the Patreon if you haven't already. That is the best way to support me. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Less than a cup of coffee a month. You get bonus shows, Discord access, your name in the intro, and 15% off every item in the jakeasman.com merch store. So get your Asmaniac gear there. Appreciate everyone who tuned in. Big thank you to the great Andrew Fialkow. What a film review. Not easy to watch this film. Yikes. He did the job, so we didn't have to. We're back tomorrow with 2 shows. Jeff Parros is fired up. He'll join us in the second show, and I'll be live in the morning tomorrow as well. So we got 2 shows for you tomorrow as we continue to get you to Sunday when the Jets are a favorite against the Indianapolis Colts. How about that? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for your support. My name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show. I end tonight's show with a message to all. Hang in there, Jet fans. Hang in there. Hector says you're going to know me soon, Bobby.
Oh, that's it, right, Hector. How am I going to know you soon, Hector? Well, you show your face on camera, you chicken ass. Ooh, big deal. I'm a big man. I'm typing in chat.
Gator writes in chicken ass. New cartoon coming to Max this fall. He's dying to come back on the show.
Let me get in my chair first. I'm getting pissed off by the Hector. I'm trying to get into my damn chair, dummy. There's my orange chair I'm going to sit in.
All right, dear God, let this chair hold.
Hey, shut up. I've been sitting in all.
Bob, what's in the blue storage bins? More chairs?
The clothes and all that, Nick.
No.
Where do you keep your underwear, Nick? God damn it. I'm just pissed off.
Voice of an angel comes in to save the day.
Yeah. Hi, Sarah.
Oh,
So you got your wish, Jake, okay? I get a weary. My back is unsight. I'm sitting here in the traffic on the Queensboro Bridge tonight. I don't care because all I wanted to do, catch my drive and drive home to you.
Yeah, we're losing him, guys. So
Let me ask you this, though. This is why I think you need a nap. Yesterday, you confused Gary for his wife, and this happened.
Oh, is that Gary's wife? Hi, Gary's wife. Oh, there she is. Good looking.
You realize that was Gary, right? You called Gary good looking there.
No, I must have been tired.
you're all fucking idiots.
I'm going to need you to stop hitting on Gary, Bobby.
What's everybody doing? I'm going to bed. Have a good night.